Welcome back everyone to the Radio Not Lore series, where in today's episode we will discuss the Clemente Hotel. This video will be divided up into two sections, the first being all in-game / developer confirmed information, and the second being my own theories as to where the world and story may go in the future.
Move quickly and clear the area.
Left Behind has struck a nearby hotel housing the families of Senator Fremont. They are demanding that Fremont admits to his actions, lest he wishes for the blood of his family to be on his hands. Suspects on site are rogue Secret Service agents who were tasked with the security detail on the Fremont family. The team has the role of emergency response, threat assessment, and physical protection. The rogue agents had been attached to the family for the duration of Cornelius's campaign. These individuals have a deep, obscure history of overseas clandestine operations for various special forces branches. Known civilians at the hotel are the Fremont family, which includes Belle, Cornelius's protege who wants to follow in her father's footsteps and become the first female president. Lucille, Cornelius's wife of 30 years, who is very similar to her husband in political views. Jack, the youngest of Fremont's children, who has very few ambitions. Next, we have Alex, who almost had an NFL career before injuring his knee. Alex's wife Ira, who is cultivating a network of relationships in the hopes to establish a political career. And finally, Michael, who is the first to see the Left Behind enter the hotel and had hotel security call 911. With that all covered, let's listen to the 911 call in the mission briefing.
911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
This is Hugo Gutierrez, head of security at the Clemente Hotel. We're going to need SWAT here ASAP. We've got reports of a number of armed individuals entering the building via the fire exits. We have reason to believe they are targeting Cornelius Fremont's family.
Can you repeat that name for me, please?
Cornelius Fremont. His family is sheltering here on the 14th floor.
And you said it's the Clemente Hotel?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you confirm the address?
It's the Clemente Hotel on 8th and Figueroa.
Do you have any visual on the suspects?
No, ma'am. Their son, Michael Fremont, reported seeing the men going up the fire escapes on the side of the hotel.
We're sending a squad to you. Hold tight. Do not engage with the assailants. Do you have any visuals of the floor?
We've got surveillance footage on the external sections on the floor, but nothing inside the penthouse itself.
Do you have any visuals on the exterior of the property?
We should have, but the feed is down.
Okay, the team is en route. Prevent anybody else from going up to that floor, and consider implementing...
Michael Fremont has taken the elevator to the penthouse. For reference, he is wearing a bomber jacket and a pair of blue jeans.
Okay, the team is a few minutes out. Stay put.
They're inside the building. I've got contact on the cameras. I have a visual on Michael Fremont. He's entering the penthouse.
Okay, can you describe the individual?
Shit! We've got shots being fired! Your team better be here!
They are inbound. I need you to stay on the line and do not, I repeat, do not engage with the suspects.
All right, listen up. At approximately 3:30, we received reports of a potential situation at the Clemente Hotel. Reports are that the Fremont family is currently sheltering there. Yes, it's the same Fremonts as the politician involved in the shooting yesterday.
How reliable is the source?
Dispatch has the head of hotel security on the line. He was alerted to the situation by one of the Fremont kids. Michael Fremont, age 20, first drew their attention to the situation. He'd been outside returning to the hotel when he reported seeing an unknown number of armed suspects trying to enter the premises via the external fire escape. I don't need to point out to any of you how much the department doesn't need a prominent politician's family being murdered right now. We've got security to put a lockdown in place, and we have visuals in the hallways, but nothing in the penthouse suite itself. We're getting the blueprint sent through, but if they don't get here in time, we'll just have to go in blind. Time is of the essence here. We know there are 6 family members up there, along with several members of their private security detail. We need to get the family out, without any casualties. We're going in with lethal force. We can't afford any fuck-ups on this one. Am I clear?
How are we entering the building, sir?
Right. We're going in 2 ways. I want half of you to follow the suspect's entry route up the fire escape. Get up, get in, get out. The rest of you, I want you inside on the stairs. Clear out any civilians to the lobby. I want you at the penthouse ASAP to get the family members out.
9052, cat number.
All right, brace yourselves. We're 2 minutes out and have reports of shots being fired. Remember, this is the 14th floor. I want you all up there fast.
So the biggest thing we learn is that this map takes place one day after the Barisa Cove incident, that being October 2nd, 2025. Fremont is still alive and is currently at the hospital, presumably in a stable condition as his family is at the hotel and not currently with him. The Left Behind clearly realized they wouldn't get a second shot at Fremont, but could still make him suffer by hurting his family. Arriving on the scene, we see that this map is a total rework from what it once was. In the prior version of this map, the hotel was the Wenderley Hills Hotel, and the main plot there had something to do with a biker gang holding some politician's daughter hostage or something like that. Now we're at the Clemente Hotel, and it's an Art Deco rich white guy's dream. Starting from the top floor and moving down, we get a gorgeous shot of the rain-soaked city of Los Sueños with the red neon lights from the Clemente Hotel sign casting an unnerving glow across the scene. Entering the World Room or Michael's room, we can find his skateboard as well as a laptop with a news article that reads, "The Left Behind, How Heroes Become Terrorists in a Day." The article itself reads, Barisa Cove, Los Sueños. Several suspects are now in custody after SWAT breached the penthouse floor of the Barisa Cove luxury apartment building Thursday afternoon. Nearby on another laptop, we can see the movie Murder at Midnight paused. Across the way into the High Priestess's room, we can see a conversation between someone named Johnny that reads, "Johnny, where are you? I haven't seen you in a week. You aren't responding to me. In Mexico." What the hell do you mean, in Mexico? Shit went down not long ago, won't be back. But what about us? Shit happens. I'm not sure whose room this is. It's either Belle's room or Alex and Ira's, but nothing in here actually tells us who's inhabiting this room besides this text exchange. If this is Alex and Ira's, then this might hint at one of the two cheating on the other, or if it's Belle's, then she just got dumped. Moving into the Empress Suite, or Lucille's room, we find a Bible, a cross, and a poem that reads, "No matter what distressing times I face, when rain and storms replace the sunny weather, when things I counted on fail to sustain me, there's nothing we can't handle, Lord, together. If those I thought were friends act more like foes, if I start to lose the things I hold most dear, I know that I can tell it all to you. You want to listen to me and to hear. When my earthly world dissolves before my eyes, when problems seem too great for me to bear, you'll always be there for me, Lord. I know I can come to you on bended knee in prayer." But then, for some reason, in the closet we find another note to Ira from Alex that reads, "Going for a run, honey. It's raining and I'll bring a jacket. Take care of Mom." I say this is most likely Lucille's room as her bio states she's religious, so the Bible in the poem makes sense. Perhaps what's going on here is that Alex and Ira are staying with Lucille since two beds are made up on the couch here and the floor. They're probably doing this because she's likely freaking out about her husband being shot and they're staying with her to comfort her. With nothing more of note on this floor, let's move down into what I presume is the study, I think. I'm not sure what you'd call this room. Either way, painted across the fireplace is dishonor, with chairs and ropes nearby and a camera. I believe this implies that this is where the execution of Fremont's family was to occur. However, our arrival must have disrupted the event, allowing the family to flee and hide. Moving down the hall, we see a blood trail that leads into one of the rooms. Entering, we see a chair covered in blood and bandages with no body in sight. Across the hall, we can enter the theater room where the movie Charade is playing, which interestingly enough, according to one of the devs, is a public domain movie except for the soundtrack. They apparently had to do some editing in order to add non-copyrighted music behind the dialogue. Moving into the bar area, we can find a phone left behind having a conversation to someone named Anne that reads, "I just put the kids to bed. Can you talk? Not tonight. OPSEC stuff. Lots going down." Okay, that's fair. I'll see you in a few days. Probably. I don't think it's going to happen again. I saw that Fremont survived. He did. I packed his wounds myself. They missed his heart by a few inches. Wow. Yeah, it was. And the message stops. This was undoubtedly one of Fremont's security detail who wasn't a Left Behind member and who likely got caught in the crossfire when the Left Behind ambushed the family. I assume this blood trail nearby is theirs, and since there's no body, we don't know if they made it or not. Right next to it, we can find a camera pointed at the street. This could either have been left by the security detail, keeping tabs on the street below, or the Left Behind doing the same thing after they arrived. Whoever it was, we can tell that the bar became the restocking spot for all their weapons, as multiple cases of rounds can be found on the bar. And that's everything of note I found. I will mention that in one of the rooms we can find this old photo of a bunch of guys representing the Green Dragon Society. The only thing I could find on said society was that they are referenced in various conspiracy theories and mystical lore, but its existence and nature are not well documented or verified by any reliable historical sources. Some stories suggest that the Green Dragon Society was a secret society in Japan involved in espionage, mysticism, and political influence. It is sometimes linked to the historical ninja or samurai traditions and described described as having a strong influence in pre-World War II Japan. And speaking of World War II, there are a handful of stories that link the Green Dragon Society to the Nazis. In these accounts, the Green Dragon Society is depicted as possessing secret occult knowledge that was of great interest to the Nazis, particularly in figures like Heinrich Himmler and the SS, who were known for their fascination with mysticism and the occult. The society is sometimes said to provide the Nazis with esoteric knowledge or magical practices. And part of me thinks that it could be a coincidence, but then again, Gerard's cabin mentions satanic orbital fluid extraction and magic beans, which, shit, I guess I could see the Nazis doing something like that. Anyway, let's move on to the evidence before I spiral into another conspiracy rabbit hole. First, we have the THX camera that was to be used to record the execution of Senator Fremont's family, and if we look closely at the camera, we can see one of the rooms at Barisa Cove. Next, we have a Political Protection Service note that reads, "D Platoon, you have shown exemplary courage and utmost capability in the face of danger and evil during the incidents that followed within the Clemente Hotel on the 1st of October. The actions of D Platoon were undoubtedly pivotal to the saving of 2 Political Protection Service members, along with the family of Senator Fremont. The Senator and both Political Protection Service members expressed their eternal gratitude for the bravery of the unit, reminiscing of the actions and leadership of H. Lincoln during the LS City Hall siege of 2005. You have tremendously carried the torch of the previous element, symbolizing unwavering courage in the face of evil and incredible determination. With this in mind, we would like to commemorate and thank D Platoon for their efforts and service. Sincerely, Jordan Harper, Chief Security Service Division." After the incident, 2 agents donated their pins to D Platoon. So just to talk about the date contradiction really quick, we arrive at the hotel after midnight at 3:30 a.m. So technically it's the 2nd and the evidence boxes state as such, but at the end of the day it doesn't really matter because it's basically the same day. Also, another thing of note is the mention of H. Lincoln in the City Hall siege of 2005. This was last mentioned when I did the new precinct tour. If you go to the front of the precinct, it's what the plaques behind the helmet and the M14 talk about. Basically, D Platoon's old leader, H. Lincoln, stopped the sovereign American militia from detonating a portable nuclear device. Anyway, the final piece of evidence is 2 revolvers. In 1855, famed outlaws Frankie Wilfred, Jack Newman, and Abraham Nelson took part in numerous high-risk bank robberies across California for 6 months, gaining unprecedented notoriety. Celebrating their riches and success, the group resided in the Clemente Hotel. Unfortunately for the gang, this would be their fatal mistake, as marshals had crucial information on their location from a local tip-off. What followed would be an intense 30-minute shootout between the 2 groups, with rounds completely decimating the lobby interior and the upper floors, leaving all 3 of the outlaws killed. After the events that unfolded in the hotel, the firearms used by the outlaws were stored in the main lobby, becoming timeless pieces of Los Sueños history and tourist attractions for years to come. With history seemingly repeating itself, the owners of Clemente Hotel decided to pass the revolvers of Frankie Wilfred to the Los Sueños police. And that is everything new, so let's talk about a few things. So, to be honest, there really is not much to theorize about here. I thought there might be some deeper connection between the 2 films showcased on the map, that being Murder at Midnight and Charade, but those 2 films are primarily related through their genre elements, as both films are mysteries involving murder and suspense, but they approach the genre in different ways, so there's not really anything deeper than they're both murder mysteries. This map, as far as I can tell, is pretty cut and dry. The Left Behind had 2 plans. Plan 1 was to assassinate Senator Fremont, and if their attempts fail, fall to Plan 2, which is to kill his family. They really wanted to make a statement and desperately wanted to kill or hurt Fremont. However, both of their attempts failed. We don't know if there are more Left Behind members out there. Presumably there are. I imagine this is the first in a long line of political assassinations by the group. With Gerard seemingly feeding them intel in the past, and with him now being arrested, I assume the Left Behind will turn away from targeting USIA assets and just prioritize politicians they don't like, unless they have further intel. Which, seeing how Gerard operated, I assume he had contingencies on top of contingencies on top of contingencies. So maybe the Left Behind had a full list of USIA affiliated politicians and are just waiting for the dust to settle before going on a rampage.